It's down the road we go. Happy Monday, 26th day of March, 2018, the day before the weekend. I am Dan Kuntz, your host for the next hour. Steve Hare, who'll be hanging around longer than normal today on this Monday. I'm our news director to my immediate left. Kat is in the cradle with the silver spoon. Happy Monday.
You too, my friend.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
Excellent, as weekends go.
Boy, event-filled. We had, wow, how about the Wild?
Wild, incredible.
Wenatchee Wild came back. The Cardiac Kids.
Yes. They have advanced to the next round of the playoffs. We don't know who they're going to play yet, either Trail or Penticton. The seventh game of that series isn't until tonight. Friday night, they were 0.6 of a second away from winning the game, Game 5 on Friday night, and they gave up a goal, 0.6 of a second left to force overtime. I was listening to the game. You should have heard Arch Ecker calling the game on Sunny FM of the Wild Hockey Network. 0.6 of a second away to go up 3-2. They scored a goal, Vernon did, to force overtime. They went through the entire first overtime. Now in the playoffs, they play a 20-minute overtime. Now it's still sudden death. Either team scores during the overtime period, the game is over. But they went through the entire 20-minute overtime period on Friday night with nobody scoring. And then they went to the second overtime, again 20 minutes, and Chad Sasaki scored the goal in the second overtime Friday to give us a 3-2 lead. They didn't even go home Friday night. They decided because it took so long, they played Vernon, but they stayed in Penticton. And they didn't take the bus home until Saturday morning. And then Saturday night, a great comeback, and they take the series 4-2. Highlights are coming up. The Mariachi Northwest Festival was Friday night.
That's right. The March for Our Lives on Saturday, which we had covered as well.
It was a busy weekend. I actually felt like I earned last weekend, because last week was just one thing after the other for me. We were really busy all of last week.
We had the Wenatchee High School Town Hall.
We had the Town Hall. I produced a soccer game. I got pressed into doing lacrosse on Saturday. Was not expecting that, but we were a little shorthanded. So I felt like I earned my weekend, and I did.
Well, you know, that's part of NCW life. We cover the events that shape our little valley here.
We even 3M, the great Megan, went down and covered Nonprofit Day. So we were out there doing stuff.
You bet.
And we'll be out doing stuff this week as well. The reason I teased you about Steve going to be here longer than normal, no guest today. I got guests for the rest of the week, but not today. So we're going to get two different newscasts coming in. Well, the same newscast twice over. So Steve will have the news here in a few minutes, and then he'll join us in the back half of the hour to rinse and repeat. As I mentioned before, we got sports, we got Today in History, we got the Obscure Holiday, we got birthdays, a brand new. Everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion, and I don't think you want to miss Street Talk and other stuff with Mike Mad Dog Magnotti live this morning at 10 o'clock. It's going to be a fascinating show.
Who's his guest today?
He does not have a guest.
Oh.
Just go to our Facebook page and read up about it. It's too involved for me to explain it on the air, but set aside 10 o'clock this morning live here from Studio 4, Mike Magnotti, and a very interesting edition of Street Talk.
Mike's always entertaining.
Yeah, Mike is not boring.
No.
I'll give Mike credit for that. Are you ready to go around the valley with our Valley View cameras?
I'm kind of interested to see what it looks like out there this morning. Yeah.
It looks kind of overcast. High clouds. In fact, it's going to be overcast for the day today. Cool temperatures too. But for the most part, the week looks pretty good. Details are coming up. That, of course, is the cross camera. And speaking of that, Randy Smith, your friend of mine, the man responsible for that cross that has been moved around over the last 20 years. It's his baby. He's going to be my guest on Good Friday.
Oh, wonderful.
This Friday, we'll talk about the genesis of the cross. Not the genesis of the cross. I think we all know that. I mean the cross itself that is up there at Wenatchee Heights, where it came from, all the places it's moved, how it operates, all the people.
Ask him about the old camera. Remember that?
Yeah, I think it's probably still up there.
Yeah, maybe so.
Anyway, Randy Smith, the cross camera guy, or the cross guy, I'll call him, for lack of a better term. He will be here on Friday, which is Good Friday. This is the last week of the month. March is just flying by.
It is.
Camera 2, let's find out what Kat picked. And Kat picked the Lower Butte.
Looking down on Lake Chelan, the Three Fingers.
We get about 2.5 minutes of daylight a day now, additional. That's a lot. We have a fairly dramatic change now. So you remember just a week ago, that was dark. The very same camera angle, the very same camera, everything. And a week ago on Monday, the 19th, it was dark. The sun hadn't come up yet. Now it's bright as can be.
A little breezy up there at Lake Chelan this morning, too.
It's going to be very windy, by the way, tomorrow. Heads up on that. Not so much today. Camera 3 takes us to, that's Steins or Monitor? I always get those two confused. That's the Monitor camera looking to beautiful Kashmir. Led Zeppelin, of course, had a great song in 1975 about that small town
Is that
of
right?
Kashmir. Yeah, it's
Okay.
great. Yeah, it's off the album Physical Graffiti. You might want to check it out. It goes like this. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun, and goes from there. Camera number, where are we, 4? I lose track. It's Monday. Leavenworth, the beautiful Bavarian village of Leavenworth,
I'm
Washington.
seeing a little green there too, down there.
And they still have quite a bit of residual snow. They always do.
Well, they got a lot of snow over the weekend.
They got a lot of snow over there. They got some.
Not Leavenworth, but the mountains.
Yeah. In fact, they were supposed to start working today on the North Cascades Highway. They're going west to east today, and then in a couple of weeks they work their way east to west. My guess is they won't be doing it today because the North Cascades, Washington Pass, all those, they're going to get a lot of snow.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a winter weather advisory for the Cascade Passes. Nothing down here, but the Cascades are going to get quite a bit of snow. Those details are coming up as well. You ready to do the weather forecast, Steve?
Let's do it.
We have a weather system rolling in today. You can see that high today of 53 degrees. It's about 4 degrees below normal. Our normal high on this date would be 57, so it's going to be cooler than normal. Lots of clouds, no rain, no wind, just kind of cloudy and gray and overcast. As we mentioned, the passes are going to get quite a bit of snow. Details are coming up. Clouds will be hanging around tonight because the clouds hold the heat in. 40 for the overnight low tonight. It's 36 outside of our studios. Tuesday, we have a little bit of a transition. The system exits. Going to be sunny for the most part, but quite windy. Wind will be out of the west 8 to 18 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 28 miles an hour on Tuesday, spilling into Tuesday night. It will gradually die down Tuesday night, little by little by little, but Tuesday, about 2 in the afternoon till about Wednesday morning, about 3 or 4 a.m., it's going to be rather windy.
I was going to say they're backing off from those mid 60-degree temperatures they were forecasting last Friday for the
And
middle of the week.
that is their right to do so. Mother Nature is very unpredictable this time of the year. The two hardest, my friend at the National Weather Service, the 2 hardest months he said to predict is that transition from March into April, still early spring, and then that transition from, say, late September into mid-October. That's when you get a little bit of everything.
Seasons,
the shoulder season. The weather is always a little bit unsettled. Nothing really stays the same for an extended period of time like it would be, say, in February or it would be in July. This is the hardest part of the year for our folks at the National Weather Service to predict the weather.
That's what makes farming such a crapshoot.
That's right. Stephen, you can't say farming on television. What's the matter with you? 8 minutes after the hour, to the mountain passes we go. Go now. Do it. Because things are going to get worse, not better. That is a live shot of I-90. Traction tires are advised. It is snowing. There is snow and slush on Snoqualmie Pass. I would not be surprised at all by the end of the day if they have to shut it down because the forecast is nasty. That's coming up. Live shot of Stevens right now. Traction tires advised there as well. Yep, snowing on US 2. Yep, compact snow and ice on the roadway. The easiest pass right now with the big 3 is Blewett. Although it is snowing, the roadway is pretty much bare and wet, some frost and ice in places. No advisories, no restrictions on Blewett Pass. Forecast, winter weather advisory. It's in effect now. It started about an hour and a half ago until 6 o'clock tonight for above 2,000 feet. So 6 a.m. to 6 o'clock tonight, a winter weather advisory above 2,000 feet. And then from 6 o'clock tonight to 6 o'clock Tuesday morning, it goes to above 3,000 feet. Lots of snow today, 5 to 9 inches of snow in the mountain passes forecast all day today. Tonight, an additional 6 to 10 inches of snow, and then Tuesday, an additional 9 to 13 inches of snow. And this is going to be one of those scenarios where I-90 is going to get more than Stevens. That happens occasionally. Normally Stevens, 1,000 foot higher in elevation at the summit than I-90, gets more snow than I-90. Not going to be the case. They're all going to get snow. They're all going to get a lot of snow, but they're expecting Snoqualmie Pass to get a lot of snow today, tonight, and into Tuesday.
Boy, oh boy. In the meantime, I think we're transitioning down here at the lower elevations into the construction season.
Yeah, starting tomorrow, they're back at it.
DOT is doing a lot of road work here in this area, so watch out for the crews.
US 97A, they're back at it tomorrow. They're doing some chip sealing and some rumble strips and some other stuff. Not working today, but they'll be at it tomorrow. So the Highway 97A, that 17-mile stretch from Wenatchee to Aniat is where they're doing most of the work.
20-minute delays, I expect, out there.
Off and on, off and on. Just take the other side of the river and you'll be fine. Unless you're driving to Aniat, because unless they build a bridge from Orondo to Aniat, that's not going to work.
Or restore the ferry or something.
Or restore the ferry, yeah, that's your case there. So that is your weather, and that is your past report at 10 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the news, basically the weekend in review, and a few other odds and ends that we want to inform you of. Steve Hare will do the honors with the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live from Studio 7 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
High school sports is back this spring on the NCW Life channel. Do you like baseball? We've got you covered with the Wenatchee Panthers and the Eastmont Wildcats. How about softball? We have you covered there too with fast pitch action right here. How about lacrosse? Yep, got you covered there too with the Wenatchee Valley Thunder. And of course, there's boys soccer. Whatever your interest, we've got you covered on your home for high school spring sports, the NCW Life channel.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old, fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
Well, good morning and welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley for this Monday morning. An event-filled weekend this past weekend with Wenatchee and Eastmont High School students taking to the streets of Wenatchee with their message of hope for safer schools. It happened Saturday. The March for Your Life event brought out well over 500 enthusiastic supporters for a pre-march rally in the parking lot of the old Hastings bookstore parking lot there.
Thoughts and prayers won't bring back the students of Sandy Hook. It won't bring back the 17 victims of the Parkland shooting. It won't bring back the hundreds of lives lost. We demand change. Ban bump stocks. Ban high-capacity magazines. Require safes in homes. Pass laws to reform education. Improve mental health. Do something! Students, teachers, parents, community members, we are out here today to make a change. We are using our voices for those who cannot. A walkout or a march are not enough. When Washington State voted on the ban of bump stocks a few weeks ago, Senator Brad Hawkins, Representative Mike Steele, and Representative Terry Canada all voted against it.
Well, again, sorry for that little glitch there, but that march was well attended, well behaved as well. There were no counter demonstrations as the march procession ended at Memorial Park. Now, the event was one of hundreds held around the country and around the world in memory of the victims of the Parkland, Florida school shooting. Also this morning, Chelan County Sheriff's Office shared a photo on their Facebook page over the weekend. The sheriff, here's that picture now, it reports a deputy impounded a vehicle in the Wenatchee area back on March 21st. During a search of that vehicle, here's what they found: 18 pounds of methamphetamine. The drugs have an estimated street value of about $300,000. Investigation continues. We don't have any other information regarding possible arrests or suspects. Well, a judge has sentenced a former East Wenatchee Water District commissioner to over 4 years in prison for molesting an 8-year-old boy. Michael McCourt was in Douglas County Superior Court last week, where visiting Judge David Estudio sentenced him to 51 months in prison. McCourt had agreed to a plea deal in which he pleaded guilty to child molestation after originally being charged with child rape. McCourt also admitted to committing additional child sex crimes dating back to the 1980s. His sentence also requires that he register as a sex offender and remain under court monitoring the rest of his life. McCourt lost his bid for re-election to the Water District, but he continues to hold on to his elected position of Douglas County Sewer District Commissioner. Congressman Dan Newhouse has issued a statement criticizing remarks made by U.S. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke, who apparently supports the reintroduction of grizzly bears into the North Cascades Park. Zinke spoke last Friday in Cedro-Woolley, declaring his support for the plan. He said, quoting here, "I've dealt with the grizzly bears all my life." And he added, I'm in support of the Great Bear, and I'm also in support of doing it right, end quote. Federal officials looking to restore the grizzly bear population released a draft plan last year with 4 options, ranging from taking no action at all to varying efforts to capture grizzly bears from other locations and then transplant them to 9,800 square miles of mostly public land in and around the North Cascades National Park. Now, Congressman Newhouse said he was disappointed that Secretary Zinke did not first speak with him. He said he's heard from his constituents in central Washington that reintroducing grizzly bears was a bad idea and that the federal government should listen to and respect the local community. The National Park Service and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service worked on drafting the environmental impact statement for several years. After being published for public opinion, it was met with mixed reactions, including really stark opposition from commissioners in Chelan and Skagit and Okanagan counties. Recently, Zinke's department stopped the EIS, but it's unclear why. Zinke did tell reporters that he expects a decision on the EAS by the end of the year. On the business front, Wenatchee Valley's newest brew pub has more than beer to tap into. If you'd like to mix beer and golf, Tap and Putt, located at 246 North Wenatchee Avenue, also offers an indoor 9-hole mini golf course. Owners say they set out to bring the best beers from around the Northwest to the Wenatchee Valley. Their website said they offer a variety of brews, from hoppy IPAs and dark stouts to crisp blondes and craft light beers. Tap and Putt is also available for group events. Elsewhere this morning, Pybus Market played host Saturday to an event that put the spotlight on volunteerism and the multitude of charitable organizations here in the Valley that are in need of volunteer help. NCW Life's Megan McPherson was there, and she filed a report.
Hey, we're here with Allie Lares, the Marketing and Operations Coordinator for Pybus Market, and we're at Nonprofit Day. Allie, what is Nonprofit Day?
So Nonprofit Day is just a chance for local nonprofits in the Valley to come down and have a table to be in front of the public and promote their organization. We've got Friends of the Wenatchee Public Library, GWADA, the Wenatchee Museum and Cultural Center, we've got the Wenatchee River Institute, we've got CASA down here, we've got SAGE, so we've got over 40 nonprofits down here today. All of these nonprofits are listed on our website, and that's pybusmarket.org, and it's listed on the event on our event calendar. So you can go there to check out a full list of the nonprofits that we have here today. But come down here, and it's really great to talk to these people and see what these amazing organizations have to offer in the Valley. And it's always great to come down and have a conversation with these people in person because they're doing some really great things. This event is a really great example of some of the great things Pybus Market Charitable Foundation is bringing to the Valley. Part of the foundation's mission is to engage in charitable activities that build community and support other nonprofits as well. So this is just a really great event that we do down here. And like our motto, where community meets, that's exactly what's happening down here today with all these nonprofits having a presence down here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Allie.
Thank you.
Megan McPherson, NCW Life News.
Thanks for that report, Megan. Sounds like it was a real successful event over the weekend. Finally, the Northwest Mariachi Festival was held Friday at the Town Toyota Center. Our local high school mariachi band, led by director Ramon Rivera, opened the concert. Here's a little flavor of that big event.
Are we ready? ¿Estamos listos, sí o no? Vamos a aplaudir por este gran mariachi. Un fuerte aplauso para el mariachi. Wenatchee, sí señor. Puro mariachi, Wenatchee, sí señor, échale.
My
As always, a huge crowd filled up the venue there for the Mariachi Northwest Festival. And tell you what, Ramon has just really developed quite a musical troupe there, hasn't he?
Well, he inherited a heck of a program. In fact, the gentleman who started it 20 years ago, not only the mariachi program at Wenatchee High School, but also the Mariachi Northwest Festival, was brought back from Los Angeles, California. They flew him up, he and his wife, and he was honored on Friday, all day Friday, for starting and launching the program, which has now become one of the institutions of North Central Washington. So it looks like it was a good time.
Yeah, oh yeah, it always is.
And they have their own theme song. I had no idea.
I love the folklorical dancers too.
Sure.
That's very colorful, yeah.
Kudos to everybody.
Makes me homesick, as a matter of fact.
As a matter of fact, sure. I bet you it does. For those of you who don't know, Steve was born in Mexico.
That's right.
I'm kidding.
No,
you know, mariachi music goes all the way back to like the 1700s. I did some research on it. Nobody really knows where it started at. There's no real demarcation. This is the beginning of mariachi music. They just know it goes back to 1770s, the actual roots, and it remains pretty much unchanged.
Yeah, it's something very happy music, very upbeat. I really like it.
So you had a good weekend. The last weekend, I don't know if you remember or not, I'm still getting over this cold. It's almost done. Little by little, every day, I get better. I got considerably better over this last weekend. 2 weekends ago, of course, I was sick, and nobody likes being sick over the weekend. But I'm getting better and better. But I thought about this.
Boy, it's spreading around the office, too.
Yeah, oh yeah, a lot of people have gotten it around here. I think I might have been ground zero for that. I would not have been surprised. But I was thinking about this yesterday. Our earthly vessel, our human body, and the way it reacts to things. I have no objection to the nose. The nose is an outstanding piece of the human anatomy. But I'm not a big fan of the location of the nose.
Where would you prefer that it be?
Any place but right above the mouth. I mean, the things that come out of your nose are not the kind of things that you want in your mouth, and yet they took the nose and they put it right above the mouth, and you would think, you know, bad stuff comes out of the nose, and they put it right above the mouth. You know, maybe they could have put it like over here or something like that.
Under your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I love the nose, I just wish it wasn't quite located where it was on occasions. It's
called a tissue.
Oh, no, I use it all. I know, I've been going through that by the...
Yeah.
I should buy stock and Kleenex. That's how much I've been going through. But
you like oysters, don't you?
The news with Grant Olson comes your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Grant Olson will handle your news duties. The team gets together throughout the course of the day, gathers the news. Steve tells us what to do. Sometimes we actually do it. And then at 5 o'clock, we have a newscast that comes your way. We repeat it at 6 o'clock and again at 10 o'clock. It's also available on demand by going to our website, ncwlife.com. Go to the Watch on Demand button and click on the news, and there it is. Or it's just there. You can't miss it. Quick little note about our website, however. If you do go to ncwlife.com, you will be there for a while because we cram it full of stuff, don't we, Steve?
We do. It's full of information, not just about the news, folks. It's about what's happening here in the Valley. And, of course, we always need news suggestions for possible news stories. So if you have a topic or an issue that we think we should be covering, well, you can contact us by email at news@ncwlife.com. You can contact us by our Facebook and Twitter pages. Also, on our website, just go to the top of the home page there. It says Contact Us. Click that and just, hey, send us whatever information you might like, and we'll get right back to you. Our hotline, by the way, if you see breaking news happening, call us right now at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295.
If you call right now, nobody's going to be answering the phone because that rings at Steve's desk, and he's sitting right here, quite frankly.
I'm on my way out.
You mentioned Facebook real quickly because about Mike McDonough, Street Talk and other stuff, live at 10 o'clock. I'm quoting off of Mike's Facebook post from yesterday. This morning on Street Talk and other stuff, school shootings. By refusing to confront our prejudices and knee-jerk emotional reactions, we are ignoring both the reality of the situation and the necessary solution. In doing so, our children continue to be at risk. Tomorrow, meaning today, on Street Talk and other stuff, we will examine this issue by confronting realities, unpleasant as they might be. That's a direct quote from Mike's Facebook page. So 10 o'clock this morning, live here from Studio 7, with the very place that we're sitting, Street Talk and other stuff, I am going to watch.
Well, Mike's been very vocal about his thoughts on school safety, gun control, and even testified before the Wenatchee School Board recently on their bond plans and some ideas that he has for making the campus safer from school violence.
It's ironic you bring that up because this morning's Everyone is Entitled to Mike McNally's Opinion, a regular feature every day on this program. He's going to talk about his appearance before the Wenatchee School Board of a couple of weeks ago. That'll be coming up here in just a couple of minutes. So with sports, the obscure holiday, today in history, birthdays, and Steve will be joining us as well in the second half of the program because we just can't get enough of Steve.
Well, by the way, we do have a little breaking news
Oh,
here.
go ahead, please.
That's breaking just this morning. In fact, the Associated Press is reporting that the Trump administration has now expelled 60 Russian diplomats today. He has ordered the Russian consulate in Seattle to close immediately as the U.S. and European nations now seeking to jointly punish Moscow for its alleged role in poisoning an ex-spy in Britain. But again, 60 Russian diplomats being expelled from the consulate is being closed in Seattle under orders of the Trump administration.
Mostly cloudy, 36 degrees outside of our studios, cloudy all day today, and a high of 52, but sunshine and warm weather is coming up later on in the week, but very windy on Tuesday and very snowy all day today, all night tonight, and into Tuesday in the mountain passes. Travel in the Cascades is going to be difficult, to say the least. 26 minutes after the hour, sports when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, live from Studio 2 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life channel.
So hi, I'm Adam McDonald and I teach history here at Wenatchee High School. If this bond were to pass, the idea of having a classroom where all of my students can fit comfortably, where I'm not making sacrifices, where I have students that can see natural light and have that uplift, where I have the ability to design my classroom in a way that reflects the best practice rather than what I have to make do with, that would make a godsend.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local-Tel. Waterville School Leadership and Learning Day is happening Friday, March 30 from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. Students K-12 will share their growing leadership culture. Joseph M. Martin's choral work Song of the Shadows will be performed by the Leavenworth Community United Methodist Church Choir and the Leavenworth Village Voices Choral on Friday, March 30 at 7. Cellist Meredith Honeycutt will also perform. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
And welcome back to this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, 26th day of March. I'm Dan Kuntz, 28 minutes after the hour. Sports. The Wenatchee Wild have moved on to the next round of the BCHL playoffs. They defeated Vernon in Game 6 on Saturday at the Town Toyota Center. It took overtime, but they did it 4-3. It marked the second consecutive nights that the two teams played extra as the Wild won Friday night in double overtime, 3-2. Things didn't look good early, though, on Saturday night. Vernon went out to an early lead. With all the highlights, here is the voice of the Wenatchee Wild, your friend of mine, Mr. Art Checker.
Back the other direction. Here come the Vipers. He had help. The shot scored. Derek Brown with a shot from the left circle. He had help with Lambert going up the middle, but Brown pulled the trigger. And from the left circle, he rips it home. A low, hard shot on the blocker's side. Svetlakov works it back ahead for Brown. Brown comes in over to the right side. Shot and a score by Lambert. He's in up high for Zek. Back to Galambus. He unloads. He scores! Zach Galambus rockets at top shelf. Shoveled back down low by Stratton. Back out in front for Karamanis. He's in. He shoots and he scores. Turned over by the Wild in the defensive zone. It bounced to Karamanis and he was able to step in alone. Had no one in front. He made a nice move. Cut hard to his right and tucked it in around behind Park low on the glove side. Then it hit his skate as well. And now it's Weatherby. He shoots. He scores! Jasper Weatherby rocketed that shot high on the glove side. Off the bar and in. Sharply across left side. Zach shot tipped in front. Score! And we are tied at 3. Libby jams it down low. It's for Souter. He gets tangled up, cleared. successfully by the Vipers. That's going to about kill it off, and they are going to dodge a huge bullet, but this game is going to be decided for the second night in a row in sudden death overtime. He comes over on the near side, spins, he shoots, save made, rebound, cleared, not out. Vanderbeck again, shot, score! Signed, sealed, delivered. Game over, series over. The Wenatchee Wild win it in overtime.
So yeah, the Wild lose the first 2 games of the series, but they come back to win 4 straight, and it's on to the next round. They will advance to the Interior Division Finals. The Wild await tonight's Game 7 winner between Penticton and Trail to find out their next opponent. Following tonight's game in the Peach City, they're going to finalize the dates and the times and the locations for Wenatchee's next best-of-7 playoff series. Turning to the Les Schwab Prep scoreboard from the weekend in baseball, Jared Rubash threw a 7-inning perfect game for the Wenatchee Panthers on Friday. 11-0 the final over Davis, and then Wenatchee came back to score 7 runs in the 7th inning of the nightcap to win that game 10-7. Eastmont split with Eisenhower, Kashmir down to Ording, and on Saturday Kashmir swept Chelan. The Cascade at Omak doubleheader, by the way, was rained out. That was baseball. Let's move on to softball. On Friday, Eastmont swept Eisenhower 17-14 and 24-14. Wenatchee dispatched Davis, no problems there, 17-1 and 16-0. Games that were scheduled for Saturday, however, rained out. They'll be made up at a later date. Les Schwab Prep scoreboard, boys soccer. Cascade blanked Prosser 1-0. Wenatchee traveled to Eisenhower and they shut out the Cadets 4-0. Eastmont hosted Davis, took that one 4-3 in overtime. On Saturday, Royal set out Kashmir 4-0. Chelan and Granger postponed. Boys lacrosse Saturday at the Apple Bowl. Our cameras were there. The Wenatchee Valley Thunder scored early and often, 15-3. That's the final over Hermiston. Mason Dahlbeck, Gray Coldy, and Roby Jorgensen each had 3 goals for Wenatchee. The Thunder improved to 2-1 on the season, 2-0 in league play. They will host Chiawana Saturday, 1 o'clock, right here on the NCW Live channel. Speaking of the TV station you're watching right now, here's what we have on tap, the sports broadcast schedule of the week. It begins tomorrow night, Lee Boftel Field at the Apple Bowl, the Panthers and the Wildcats. Wenatchee and Eastmont boys soccer live, 7 o'clock, Sebastian Moraga. Matt Wiesen will have the call here. We'll feature Wenatchee's Game 4 with Vernon Thursday. That is hockey night at 7 o'clock. Friday, it's Wenatchee and Sunnyside from Historic Recreation Park. We'll pick up the broadcast of the second game of the doubleheader around 5:30. Then, as we mentioned, Chiawana and Wenatchee lacrosse Saturday at 1, followed by Game 5 between Wenatchee and Vernon in the BCHL playoffs. That'll be Saturday night at 7. Basketball, the Final Four is set in the NCAA men's basketball tournament. And yeah, we still got a Cinderella story. Number 11 seed Loyola of Chicago made it to the Final Four in San Antonio. They beat Kansas State Saturday, the final 78-62. They will face the number 3 seed Michigan Saturday at 3:09 p.m. on TBS. The Wolverines punched their ticket Saturday. They knocked off Florida State 58-54. The other semifinal features 2 number 1s. Villanova battled Kansas. Nova advanced with Sunday's 71-59 win over number 3 Texas Tech. The Jayhawks moved forward with yesterday's 85-81 win over number 2 seed Duke. Villanova and Kansas will tip it off Saturday at 5:49 on TBS. The Mariners wrapped up spring training at the Peoria Sports Complex Sunday, 11-7 over San Diego. Seattle slapped 6 doubles in the game. Nelson Cruz went 2 for 3 with a double and a 2-run home run. James Paxton put in his last work of the spring. He went 5 innings. He allowed 2 earned runs on 6 hits, struck out 6. Seattle off today. They travel to Scottsdale tomorrow to take on Colorado at 12:10. Opening day at Safeco Field Thursday against Cleveland. Yes, Felix Hernandez will get the start for the 10th consecutive opening day. And as a friendly reminder, opening day on Thursday, not only for the Mariners, but everybody in Major League Baseball. For the first time in 50 years, since 1968, every team will play on opening day this Thursday. I cannot wait. 34 minutes after the hour, that is sports. On this Monday, it's time for the obscure holiday of the day today. On March 26th, we celebrate Spinach Day. Spinach Day. Do Popeye a favor. Pop down some spinach. Spinach, I'm not making this up. I looked this up online so you know it's true. Eating spinach will improve your eyesight. It treats muscular degeneration. It provides neurological benefits. In other words, you can get smarter. It maintains blood pressure. Of course, it strengthens muscles, helps in bone minerals, helps your bones, reduces risk of cataracts. It boosts metabolism. This is all spinach. It's all good stuff. It helps with fetal development. It reduces inflammation. It treats and prevents cancer. It helps your skin. It has proteins. It's all good for you. Spinach. I wish it tasted a little better. But if you eat spinach, you're doing good. Spinach is very affordable. Spinach is easy to grow, so it's very affordable at your local grocery store. It's always in season. And a little trivia about Popeye, the sailor man, the big strong guy. The man who was in charge of the Popeye comic strip from 1948 to 1967. He didn't start it, but he was in charge of it for all those years. Bud Sagengorf. Bud Sagengorf was born in Wenatchee. There you go. Happy National Spinach Day. It cures what ails you. You ready for Today in History? I got 3 items. A couple of them Northwest related. In fact, 2 of them Seattle related. At 36 minutes after the hour, we'll start out with what happened 101 years ago today. March 26, 1917, the Seattle Metropolitans defeated the Montreal Canadiens 3-1 to win the Stanley Cup. 3 games to 1 in the best-of-5 series. They were the first team ever from the United States to win the Stanley Cup. It was the first Stanley Cup to be played entirely in the United States. All the games, all 4 games were played in Seattle. And it was the last Stanley Cup not to feature a team from the National Hockey League. In 1918, 100 years ago, the National Hockey League was founded, and from that point forward, the Stanley Cup has determined the champion of the NHL. But the Seattle Metropolitans won it all on this date 101 years ago. 84 years ago today, 1934, Great Britain, the United Kingdom, became the first country anywhere to do a driving test. That's the very first driving ever issued, number 1. Number 1. It happened on this date 84 years ago. Before this, all you had to do was physically operate an automobile and you automatically got a license. It never occurred to anybody that one should probably be able to safely operate an automobile. The United Kingdom said, we just can't give licenses to anybody. Just because you own a car doesn't mean you can safely drive one. The streets belong to everybody. And on this date, 84 years ago, the United Kingdom became the first country to actually require people to take a test and prove they could safely operate an automobile before they could go out and drive an automobile. Not a bad idea. And the late lamented Kingdome went away 18 years ago today. March 26, 2000, the Kingdome was imploded. At the time, it was the largest single implosion of all time, the late lamented Kingdome. By the way, the construction bonds, we just paid them off. 3 years ago in 2015, the Kingdome was paid off. 15 years ago, after they blew it up, which happened 18 years ago. Fun fact about the Kingdome was the only arena to host the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, that happened in 1979, the NBA All-Star Game in 1987, and the NFL Pro Bowl, which they hosted in 1976. No other arena can claim that fact. Of course, the Kingdome is now where CenturyLink Field currently resides. And at 38 minutes after the hour, 1, 2, 3 birthdays for you today. All of them going strong, including the 91st Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court and the very first woman to be appointed to the United States Supreme Court. Sandra Day O'Connor is 88 years old today. Of course, she's been retired from the courts since 2004. She is on a crusade right now to take the appointment of judges away from the electorate. She says judges need to be appointed, not elected. That's her big thing right now, quite frankly. I agree with her. Sandra Day O'Connor, also recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and she's going strong at 88 years old. One of the rare celebrity journalists to emerge from the 1970s, Bob Woodward, is 75 years old today. He's been writing for the Washington Post since 1971. He's written a bunch of bestsellers. I think 10 of his books have been to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, including the very first book he ever wrote with Carl Bernstein, All the President's Men. Bob Woodward, I try to read all of his books because he's a pretty talented guy. He's 75 years old today. Steven Tyler is 70. Somebody needs to tell him. Steven Tyler, the lead singer of Aerosmith, is 70 years old today. I went to one Aerosmith. I'm not a big fan of Aerosmith. I like them. I'm not a huge fan of theirs, but you know, I went to one Aerosmith concert at the Tacoma Dome in the mid-'90s, and I got to tell you, they put on a show. And Steven Tyler, he moves and he's got it going. I got to give him credit for that. And the fact that he's still kicking at 70 is pretty darn impressive as well. Happy birthday, Steven Tyler, 70 years old today. That comes from all of us here at the NCW Life channel. 40 minutes after the hour, going to take a quick break. When we come back, everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. That's next on the agenda. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Monday edition on the NCW Life channel.
Introducing the lightweight shot starter. Only on the 2018 Ski-Doo mountain sleds. With next generation engine and platform. For the unmatched power and handling to own the next ride. Ski-Doo. What matters is what's next. Get 4-year coverage or 0% financing for 36 months.
Spring has finally arrived, and with the new spring colors comes Easter. There's plenty of good reasons to shop at Wenatchee Valley Mall, like a visit with the Easter Bunny. The Bunny will be at the mall through March 31st in the center court. Find the times the Bunny is hopping on in under the Events tab. From haircuts to new shoes and everything in between, Wenatchee Valley Mall has it all under one roof. Get all springy with yourself now at the Wenatchee Valley Mall. Every golfer aims to play their best, and smart golfers turn to the Golfer's Edge to get the Golfer's Edge. PGA professional Ed Payne has you covered from tee to green. You can work on your swing or play 18 in air-conditioned comfort on the golf simulator. Tanya's Corner has all the apparel the golfer needs at sale prices. And Ed can even rebuild your favorite set of clubs or custom make you a brand new set. Ask how you can qualify for a free 30-minute lesson at the Golfer's Edge on Mission between Kittitas and Yakima.
This is the NCW Life Community Calendar brought to you by Local Tel. The Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center is hosting Trivia Night at 6 p.m. on Friday, March 30. Put on your thinking cap for a casual evening of trivia for local history buffs, culture gurus, and museum lovers. The Weinstein Beverage Beat the Buzzer finalist competition is happening at Pybus Market on Saturday, March 31. Admission is free to the general public to watch the competition. For more information, visit ncwlife.com.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
Why live your life in the dark? At Schmidt Electric, we're one of the oldest and most respected companies in the Pacific Northwest.
Founded by my father in 1960, we have grown from 2 employees to 130.
From small commercial businesses to heavy industrial companies, we employ some of the most respected contractors. We're also a proud member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers for over 50 years. Call us at Schmidt Electric today.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I was at a school board meeting where a gentleman said that if there were armed guards and metal detectors at schools, we needed to be ready for kids to suffer from PTSD. And I'm meaning no disrespect. Well, maybe some disrespect. I mean, PTSD is caused by suffering a significant sexual assault or trauma so severe that you expect to die. I mean, do we really believe that high school students are so sensitive, coddled, and overprotected and naive that the idea of passing through a metal detector is going to send them to therapy? Now, this is exactly the kind of senseless hyperbole that we have to avoid if we're going to have any chance of deterring a school shooting here. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Some things are better slow. Internet is not one of them. With local Tel Fiber Internet, slow internet is history. Play movies and videos instantly in HD quality. Video chat without interruption. Download music or photos in seconds. And dominate in gaming with virtually no lag time, no matter how many devices are online. Experience gigabit internet. Call or visit LocalTel online to learn more.
We know crunch.
Join us for Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life Channel. This former police sergeant is plugged into not only the world of the streets, he's an actor and connoisseur of the arts. So join Mike and his guests for, well, Street Talk and Other Stuff. Mondays at 10 a.m., Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m., and Wednesdays at 5:30. It's Street Talk and Other Stuff with Mike Magnotti on the NCW Life Channel.
How about having majestic mountains, a beautiful shoreline, and 26 acres of lush walking trails be the backdrop of your special event? Lake Wenatchee YMCA Camp has cabins, meeting spaces, and a lodge with a kitchen that will accommodate large gatherings. Our staff at Lake Wenatchee YMCA Camp will work with you to ensure that your wedding, retreat, class reunion, or birthday is amazing. Reserve your day today.
Welcome back. About 47 minutes after the hour on this Monday, easing our way into a new work week. Dan Coos alongside News Director Steve Hare, who has rejoined me. We're going to recap the weekend that was in the world of news. Basically, we're going to hit Control Alt Delete. No guest today. Sometimes Mondays are the hardest day of the week to book guests on.
Arch was going to join you, but I was hoping he was a little worn out after that series.
He needs to rest.
Burning, yeah.
He needs to rest. But this is exciting. This team, this Wild team, could be the one to go all the way.
Well, you know, I think they're about as close as the very first team that
went to the Robertson Cup finals 10 years ago out in Clear Lake, Iowa. This team could do it. This team could do it. Let's begin where we started. Let's take you around North Central Washington with their Valley View cameras. I think Kat has picked some new cameras out.
Uh-oh.
Let's find out. Well, that one, of course, is always, we always do that one, regardless of the circumstances, unless A, it's not working, or B, it's so cloudy and foggy you can't see the valley.
It helps me orient myself.
Yeah, exactly. That is, of course, the beautiful Wenatchee Valley, the lifeblood of North Central Washington. Now, let's find out together. Steve, camera 2 is going to take us to Union Valley.
Lake Chelan.
Lake Chelan, looking good. Still lots of snow on the butte, isn't there?
Yeah, a lot of green, though, here in the foreground.
Yep. Well, of course, now this side of the camera, the closest part of the camera, gets more sun than the other side, obviously, because that's about the same elevation. There's no real elevation change. It's just when you get a lot more sun, you have a lot more snow melt off. Good morning, Chelan. Good to have you on board. Wonder how the mayor's doing up there. I like him.
Mayor Cooney?
Yeah, I like him. He does a good job. Camera 3 is, that's Jump Off Ridge. I do believe Jump Off Ridge. Spectacular view there. That is not easy to get to.
No,
even in the middle of summer when you have an automobile, it's still not easy to get to. It's about an hour's drive.
Where's that, up in the Clackamas?
No, that's right at the very edge.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, if you look straight down, I mean, you can see the Stemilt Basin. You can see the Wenatchee Valley. Beautiful. And if you turn around and look the other way, you can almost see Ellensburg. That's up there a ways.
Now, there's 3 lakes down there, too,
Yep,
isn't it?
3 lakes. Formerly 4 lakes, and then one of them disappeared. And where are we going to next?
My favorite.
Billy Goat. Hey, look at the snow that melted there. I mean, you remember Friday on this show? That was all snow. Everything was snow covered. Not anymore. Look at that. Probably the rain did a great deal. That been a lot of rain Saturday morning, you noticed.
Different angle there on Mount Kalispell.
Mount Kalispell?
Distance.
That is Canada. Good morning, Canada. Our good friends. Love that Billy Goat. Love that Billy Goat. So there's our second edition of Cameras Around the Valley. As far as your forecast is concerned, what you see right now is what you're going to get. Clouds all day today. No rain, no wind, just kind of there. If a Monday and a weather forecast were supposed to be meshing together, that's it. Cloudy, cooler, kind of just, whatever you do.
Muddy Waters would like a day like this.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be cold. I mean, yeah, well, cooler than normal anyway. The system that's kind of sitting here is going to move on out tonight. Tomorrow, quite a bit of sunshine, especially in the afternoon. Watch out for the wind. A lot of wind on Tuesday afternoon, about 8 to 18 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 28 miles an hour near sunset, which is about 7:30. Tuesday night, the wind will gradually die down, not dramatically, just a little bit. And then a nice pattern on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, mixture of mostly sunny with a few clouds here and there. Temperatures going below normal today to above normal by Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's your forecast. As far as the mountain pass is concerned, let's go live.
Hopefully snow is in our rearview mirror, at least here in the valley.
I think we're done with it, but boy, they're not done with it in the mountain passes. Continues to come down hard on I-90. Right now, it's a traction tire advisory. I can guarantee you that's going to change. Snowing pretty good on I-90. Traction tires advised. Stevens Pass advised. Snow and slush in places on the roadway. Blewett Pass is getting some light snow. It's not sticking to the roadway. There's a live shot of Blewett right now. So traction tires are advised on Stevens, are advised on I-90. Winter weather advisory is in effect now until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Lots and lots and lots of snow. Here's your total snow accumulations today. 5 to 9 inches. Tonight, 6 to 10 inches. Tuesday, 9 to 13 inches of snow. So the next 24 hours is going to be significant snowfall in the mountain passes. So go now. It's not going to get any better. And as I mentioned at the top of the hour, I would not be surprised if they're going to be forced to close I-90. When it snows so much that the plows can't get a hold of it, they have a lot of traffic. The cars start spinning out. You can't make the grade. I would not be surprised at all.
So my suggestion, folks, get your app with
It's so handy.
ncwlife.com. You know, we have all your current road and past conditions there, and weather forecast. So hey, we've got it all.
Steve was a busy guy. He got his brand new camera out this weekend. He went down to the Hastings parking lot. You want to get us caught up with what happened over the weekend?
Absolutely. It was a big weekend event-wise here in the Wenatchee Valley. First and foremost, Wenatchee and Eastmont High School students took to the streets of Wenatchee Saturday with their message of hope for safer schools. The March for Your Life event brought out well over 500, some people say upwards of 800 enthusiastic supporters turned out for the pre-March rally in the parking lot of the old Hastings bookstore.
Thoughts and prayers won't bring back the students of Sandy Hook. It won't bring back the 17 victims of the Parkland shooting. It won't bring back the hundreds of lives lost. We demand change. Ban bump stocks. Ban high-capacity magazines. Require safes in homes. Pass laws to reform education. Improve mental health. Do something! Students, teachers, parents, community members, we are out here today to make a change. We are using our voices for those who cannot. A walkout or a march are not enough. When Washington State voted on the ban of bump stocks a few weeks ago, Senator Brad Hawkins, Representative Mike Steele, and Representative Terry Kanata all voted against it. They failed our communities when we needed them the most. We need to vote for government officials who will do something to protect us. We need to contact our legislators and representatives and demand they make change in our communities. Who is 18? Or at least 18. Here's a better question. Who is not registered to vote yet?
Right here. Register.
We have a registration booth today. If you are 18 and able to register to vote and use democracy to your power. Thank you all for being part of this march today. This is the start of a conversation, so let's continue it. Up next, speaking is Beth Chivilicek.
Saturday's march was definitely well attended and well behaved as well. There were no counter demonstrations as the march procession ended at Memorial Park. The event was one of hundreds that were held around the country in memory of the victims of the Parkland, Florida school shooting. Also from over the weekend, Chelan County Sheriff's Office shared this photo with us on their Facebook page. The sheriff reports a deputy impounded a vehicle in the Wenatchee area back on March 21st. During a search of that vehicle, here's what they found: 18 pounds of methamphetamine. The drugs have an estimated street value of $300,000, and that investigation continues. Also, from last week, a judge has sentenced a former East Wenatchee Water District Commissioner to over 4 years in prison for molesting an 8-year-old boy. Michael McCourt was in Douglas County Superior Court last week, where visiting Judge David Estudio sentenced him to 51 months in prison. McCourt had agreed to a plea deal in which he pleaded guilty to child molestation after originally being charged with child rape. McCourt also admitted to committing additional child sex crimes dating back to the 1980s. His sentence also requires that he register as a sex offender and remain under court monitoring the rest of his life. McCourt lost his bid for re-election to the Water District this year, but continues to hold on to his elected position on the Douglas County Sewer District Board of Commissioners. One final note here, Congressman Dan Newhouse has issued a statement criticizing remarks made by U.S. Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke in support of reintroducing grizzly bears to the North Cascades. Zinke shared his comments Friday in Cedro-Woolley, declaring his support for the plan. Zinke said, "I've dealt with grizzly bears all my life," and he added, quoting here, "I'm in support of the great bear, and I'm also in support of doing it right," end quote. Federal officials looking to restore the grizzly bear population released a draft plan last year with 4 options, including relocating some of the bears into the North Cascades National Park. But Congressman Newhouse said he was disappointed that Secretary Zinke did not first speak with him. He said he's heard from his constituents in central Washington that reintroducing grizzly bears was a bad idea and that the federal government should listen to and respect the local community. Those are some of the top stories we're following for you today. Also, we had breaking news this morning coming out of the Seattle area, and this from the Associated Press reporting that the Trump administration today expelled 60 Russian diplomats and ordered Russia's consulate in Seattle to close as the U.S. and European nations sought to jointly punish Moscow for its alleged role in poisoning an ex-spy in Britain. For more on these stories, of course, you can log on to our website at ncwlife.com, and more news coming up at 5 o'clock today on NCW Life Evening News with host Grant Olson.
They're a little worried that the Russian consulate in Seattle is this proximity to not only the Bangor submarine base in the Puget Sound area, but also Joint Base Lewis McChord. And that's one of the reasons that they decided the best thing to do was shut down the Seattle consulate. Just a little too close to some pretty sensitive military areas.
Absolutely.
So no doubt about that. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up this Monday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
We're here to celebrate every season with award-winning dining, full-service spa, and 170 waterfront guest rooms. Come experience our tradition of hospitality at Campbell's Resort on Lake Chelan.
RLS Productions is proud to bring to the NCW Life Channel the Concerts in the Garden Summer Series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 1:30 and 7 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Garden Summer Series, only on the NCW Life Channel.
Just about wrapping up here for this Monday. I am Dan Kuntz alongside Steve Harris. Pay attention now, Steve.
Pardon me, I'm just kind of going over some of the agendas for today's
Yeah,
meeting.
you're a busy guy today. Programming reminder, speaking of busy guys today, Steve, of course, is our news director, and he'll be gathering and disseminating the news, and Grant Olson will be delivering the news from the anchor chair at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock right here on this very station. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. You can also watch it on demand by going to our website late in the afternoon. As far as guests for the rest of this week, the MS Walk is coming up. You know my friend Pat Quinn Williams.
Yes.
She'll be back tomorrow, and she's bringing a friend with her, and we'll be talking about the MS Walk coming up. On Friday, Randy Smith, the cross guy Kind of think of a better name for that. We'll talk about him on Good Friday. Be a perfect time to talk
Wenatchee
about
Heights
the
Cross. We're talking
Wenatchee Heights
about,
Cross. And also Frank Cohn, my favorite local photographer. You know Frank Cohn and some of the incredible work that he does.
Great work.
He's going to be on this show on Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to that. Everybody have a great week. Wherever you go, take us along. We're portable. We're the NCW Life Channel. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.